have any questions for our coaching guys.
Hi Dan, could you update us please on where the quarterback race stands? Is it a complete open competition, or if Jaron plays well in practice, does he need to play well to start Friday night?
Well, I think, that's, Coach Diaz will ultimately make that decision on what he wants to do, but I think the big thing Coach, and I talked about was he wanted to just kind of see how Jaron responds. This is kind of the first adversity he's faced, and so we'll just, I don't know if there's an exact formula how these things work out, but we'll get a feel for how these two guys prepare this week and how they practice, and then Coach, I know, will make a decision he thinks is best for everybody in the organization.
Yeah, I know Bud Foster said at post game that the way he defended the two quarterbacks, Jared and Kosi, was vastly different. Did you notice a big change in what was available with either quarterback?
No, I think their game plan is like their game plan always is that they smother the box with people and they play a lot of man coverage, and we knew that going into the game. Coach Foster's been that way for 30 years. They pressed a little bit more, I think, early than they had pressed, but they continued to play very similar. I think they blitzed more actually when Akosi came in and everything. But we know we didn't feel that big of a change. The numbers were still, they overloading the box. We had a lot of RPOs called because just because of the way they play, there's just extra people always hanging around the box, and if you just keep running the balls into extra people, there's going to be issues in your run game. So we wanted to take advantage of some of the access throws we got, and we were able to do that for a lot of the game. I think that's why we threw for about 500 yards, and again, as our players looked at it yesterday, we could have thrown for 700 yards if we would have executed properly. So thought Nkosi did a really good job when he came in.
Dan, you've got a lot of experience in managing a quarterback situation like this. Last year you had Tua and Jalen, and Jalen's the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy this year at the moment. So I guess it's at a little different level than what the situation is here right now. But what is the secret to managing a situation like that? And last year here, they got into a situation where quarterbacks were being jerked back and forth game after game after game, and it really didn't work very well. How do you manage a situation like this, and what have you found is the best way to do it?
Well, I can't speak to last year because I really have no idea or any type of information on how it was handled, but I know that Coach doesn't want to knee jerk and take quarterbacks in and out. We would like to have a guy that's our guy and go with him. But we also understand, like in the game Saturday, we needed a spark. We needed something to change, and sometimes that has to be the quarterback, especially if he's not playing very well. So to be honest with you, I think these things usually end up working themselves out. Last year we were in a situation where there was two very capable guys. One had a lot of experience, one didn't. But I think the one thing Jalen did last year was he stayed and worked his tail off every day and got better as a player. And I think he's reaping the rewards of that right now, being with an outstanding coach and having an outstanding season and everything. And again, he ate some humble pie last year for a long time and worked his butt off though, and that's all paying off for him right now. And as you said, every situation is different. Our situation is certainly different than theirs, but the big thing I just tell these two guys, and the thing I stressed to both of them yesterday and to the younger guys, Peyton Matoka in the room, and them is that, every Saturday when you go out there, or Friday night when you go out there as a quarterback, if you're not the starter, you have no idea. Your number may be called the second play of the game if a guy's helmet comes off, he sprains an ankle, falling out of bounds. You have to prepare, and it's very difficult to do now, to be a backup. I did it my first 2 years at Michigan State. I was a second string quarterback, and it's a very difficult thing to do from a mental standpoint. Not only throughout the course of the week. Throughout the course of the week, you have to prepare like the starter, and then during the game, you have to play every play like you could be going in the next play, and that's very difficult to do, especially for 19-year-old, 20-year-old people to do. To have that type of maturity and focus. And again, when I was a player, I found my mind wandering, about things, and have to get myself refocused. And I shared all those things with the quarterbacks last night. And again, I just told them that most guys get an opportunity to play. Sometimes you don't know when the opportunity is. Sometimes it's in a scrimmage. Sometimes it's in a first game. Sometimes it's in week 8. But you have to just prepare yourself so when you do get the opportunity, you're ready to go. And that was my message to the guys last night was, just come over here and continue to bust your tail every day in your preparation and continue to get better from a fundamental technique standpoint. And then, you don't control when you go in the game, meaning a coach is going to tell you when you go in the game, so don't worry about that. You can't control it. But what you can control is how you play when you go in the game. So, focus on the preparation on that and the process of making sure that if you're given an opportunity, you play well. Yes?
Dan, you touched on it a little bit, but just specifically Nicosi's performance, what maybe did you like and what maybe do you feel like he needs to clean up?
The guy came in really difficult circumstances and played his tail off. He competed, he showed toughness, he was able to run. He made a couple of plays out of the pocket, off schedule plays. And then there was a little lull in the game, I told him, where I thought, he got taken away on a spaceship and they brought a different guy down because he had about 4 plays in a row. And I was like, what is he doing, But then he came back and he finished the game very, very strongly. But he went the wrong way on a bootleg one time and took a sack, just like, really, right now we can't do that at Nicosia. And again, you're talking about a young player, and again, I don't think a lot of people think of him as a young player because he played some last year, but he hasn't played a lot of meaningful time this year for us. So he did have a lull in the action there, but he came back strong. He gave our team a chance to win at the end of the game. I thought he showed tremendous poise and composure, and he was a very, very good communicator out there. I thought his teammates responded to him well, and I think one of the big things was I saw a team had a lot of confidence in him, and again, I thought he did a really good job.
I was wondering how Jaron is emotionally and physically after that game. How he has responded emotionally, being taken out. And then the other thing was ESPN during the broadcast, they indicated that Jaron had indicated the week going to the game that his throwing arm or his throwing shoulder was sore. How's he doing now? All those aspects.
Yeah, again, I can't comment too much about the injury standpoint factor, but from a mental standpoint, I thought he handled it very well Saturday. Again, nobody wants to be taken out of the game, but he was encouraging Nicosia on the sidelines. At halftime, he was talking to Nicosia about things they were doing throughout the game. He was right in there listening to every detail, just like Nicosia has done for Jaron when Jaron's been in the game. So I think he handled it very well. And yesterday he was in a really good frame of mind. He came over here. He practiced very well yesterday. Threw the ball well. Took a lot of notes during the meeting, obviously. And again, I think these are they're growing pains for young players. And he's had some good games so far. You know what I mean? He hadn't thrown an interception yet, and he just had a couple poor plays stack up on him, and in a situation, hopefully, again from these, hopefully I tell these guys, if we don't learn anything from it, then obviously we've had adversity for nothing. So let's learn what we did, and let's make sure we can do whatever we can do to not have it happen again.
Dan, a couple more questions for Coach. Was there more of a vertical presence to the offense of Nicosia in the game, and did his insertion kind of also ignite Jeff Thomas in a way?
I don't know about that. No, the vertical plan was there from the get-go. I mean, that's, Jaron threw an interception on a post. We hit a deep corner route to Brevin for a 30-yard play early in the game that he stumbled on or could have had more. Our plan was to attack them vertically just because of the structure they allow. There's a lot of throwing available in that defense because it's basically there's not hardly any zone coverage to it, so it's not very difficult to figure out from a quarterback standpoint what you're getting from a coverage standpoint. So they loaded up the box, and our plan was to take easy access throws with RPOs whenever available to us in our run game, and then when we had a chance to max protect, we were going to try to take some throws and throw some balls down the field. And again, it didn't change when Jaron was in or Nicosia was in. Just Nicosia had more opportunities to do it, and then I think Nicosia obviously took advantage of it. He hit a couple, and he gave Jeff Thomas a chance on a couple of those plays. And Jeff, I came in here last week and said Jeff's got to help himself because we've given him a lot of opportunities, and he did. He helped himself. He went up and made a contested catch in the end zone on a fade ball, which he hadn't done yet, which was great. He beat a guy in a corner route, really nice route, and Nicosia, nice touch on the ball. We threw him a wide receiver screen. We was able to make some guys miss and make an explosive play. So, Jeff helped himself Saturday by capitalizing some of the opportunities that he was granted.
Last question for Coach Ambrose.
All right. Hey, Dan. Always a good question. I just wanted to go back to something from a little earlier that you were asked about. We're running a cool start this week. Just to clarify, so I guess you said that you watch them in practice, coach will make a decision for everyone in the organization. You don't know if there's an exact formula about practice? 'Cause-
Well, I'm gonna, refer back to what, however Coach Diaz answered the
He said
question.
Jaron was the starter,
So
so
then, sounds good to me?
okay, that's what I want to clarify. Thank you.
Yep, I mean, he already answered it, so.